What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another edition of Generational Sports, coming at you here live, March 13th on this fine Monday night. The clock sprung ahead, even though, Josh, spring ahead and all that with the clocks. I believe in my area, not sure yet, possibly about 10 inches of snow.
Really?
My brother, who lives upstate more than I do, expecting about 1 to 1.5 feet. So while the clocks might have sprung ahead, Josh, the weather sure has not, is what I was looking to say.
I agree. We haven't had a ton of snow. It's a little bit of snow right now, but not too much. And I mean, that's how the weather is always here. Like, it doesn't get cold in the winter, and then when you think like, oh, we didn't have a bad winter, then it gets super cold in March and April. And that's how it goes.
It's just I'm not a big, listen, I'm a summer guy, of course. You like being able to go outside and do things. Hate the heat. Like, fall is a wonderful time. A nice solid, I'll take a nice 65, 70, something like that. Mm-hmm. A light little breeze. But I'm not looking for these 95-degree days. Maybe back in the day when I was young and had a pool. But
Right.
We don't have a pool anymore. But then again, I say this, Josh, and I probably count on the finger, like, not literally, but we never really won the pool. Ever.
Really?
Like, especially especially when we got older, like, and my brothers would move out. I just had no reason. I wasn't going in alone.
My mom used to, we used to babysit kids, like my mom's friends and stuff, during the summer and all that. So we'd be outside in the pool all day, every day. All day, every day.
Yeah. Like, I miss it, but like I said, it was never really used. But that we had a hot tub too. That was really never used.
My friend had a hot tub. Those are nice.
I'm not gonna lie though. Hot tub was only used when there was somebody over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was used occasionally. You know what I mean? But listen, I can't move on with the show without knowing how you're doing, though, brother. How we feeling on this day, huh?
Doing good. I had some Culver's for lunch today. It's delicious. I saw Creed 3 this weekend.
I haven't seen the first two.
Really? You're not a big Rocky guy?
No, I am. Love the Rocky movies. But I just haven't seen them. I've been told that they are good.
Very good. Very, very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check.
Third one was very nice too.
Okay. I'm gonna have to put that on the bucket list. You say?
How are you doing?
Oh, Josh.
So how are you doing?
I'm great. Why not? I think we're dealing with that a little bit of a delay once again on this one. Hey, we're gonna figure it out, Josh. You know what I mean?
Are we really?
I'm all right. I finally the Renegade season is almost back in full swing, Josh. April 7th is opening day. So I just got the schedule actually for the Renegades of my work schedule for April and May. I'm working opening day. I had mentioned to them that I wanted to do some different things this year than just like the consistent, graphics that I had done. And it looks like they've taken that into account because I got graphics a couple times, but I have crossfire a lot, which I am not completely sure what that means. What I think it means, though, is that I'm going to be operating the scoreboard, Josh. And I don't mean like, oh, look, run scored, let's put the one up or whatever. I think like the batter thing that comes up, like to play the videos and the get hype video. I think that's what Crossfire might be. So
that's nice.
Your boy might be out here on the big board out there. And I also have some training days to learn how to do replay, which I kind of wanted to do last year. So these first couple months, it looks like I'll be slotted into some new positions. I'm excited for that. I'm working opening day, which I really, really wanted to do just because I wanted to see what opening day was like there. So, Renegades are almost back in full swing. I'll be back doing that for my second year, hopefully. That obviously leads to some more opportunities down the road, but I'm excited for now. But all right, enough about the kids of the show. How about we move on to what everybody's here for? That would be the sports that we love to dive into. And UFC 268 is right around the corner. In fact, it is this weekend. And I'm going to pull up the fight card right here that I probably should have already had up. But hey, everybody makes mistakes. And listen, what we do know is that the main event will be Usman and Edwards 3. Obviously, Usman won the first one, right, Josh, when they were much younger. We all know what happened the second time. Boom, headshot, done. In a fight that obviously Usman was about to win. He was about to defend his title once again, continue on that winning streak. But he got kicked right in the head and went to sleep. Edwards won the title, and now they are back to fight for a third time. The rubber match, probably the last time they will fight, you would imagine, unless they draw here. But it's going to be in London, right, in the O2?
I believe
so. Main card, I think, starts at 3, if I'm not mistaken, or the event starts at 3. I'm not sure which one it is. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one. And then obviously my guy, Justin Gaethje's in the co-main event, which I'm very excited about. But Josh, are there any other fights that you are looking, you're looking forward to on this card? As I am trying desperately to find it, but oh wait, is this it? No, it's not it. All right, anything else you're really looking forward to here, boss man?
No, I mean just the main event really. I haven't watched too many of the non-pay-per-views like the fight nights. I haven't caught too many of those lately. And I'm bad with names when it comes to the UFC. I'll watch a guy 1 week and I'll be like, wow, he's really good. I'm going to keep an eye on him. But then he doesn't fight for another 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
Yeah, I completely forget about him. And I'm just looking forward to the two main fights. I think Fiziev and Gaethje's going to be a good one. Gaethje, I might bet on Gaethje just because he's the underdog in this fight.
Ooh, underdog Gaethje, huh?
Yeah, Fiziev's been on a good streak and he's a monster. So, and it's always the up and comers versus the guys that have been there for a little bit. The up and comers are always like the betting favorite because they're on their way. But Gaethje's. I mean, we've seen what he can do out there. So that's going to be a very fun fight. And then obviously the title rematch. I don't think Usman's gonna coast it late if it goes late. I think he's gonna try to put Leon away, establish himself as the man once again. So I think Leon's he's the champ. He can't be taken lightly. That head kick was nasty. He had moments throughout that fight as well. But I think Usman's gonna come out here and just dominate him.
Yeah, I kind of see it the same way. You would imagine it should be a little bit more even match this time, just because Leon, I feel like when they fought the first time, you almost throw that one out because they were so young and like up and coming and everything like that. And obviously they've both come so far since then that it's kind of looking at somebody in their rookie year compared to year 10, something of that in a different sport. Like they've obviously learned so much. And then from the second fight. Like Usman doesn't have to change that much besides, not being taken out with 50 seconds left because he was up 2 rounds. I mean, you hear the audio from the corner. If you watch the fight, excuse me, he was up. He was going to win that fight, like we said. And then John Anik said, that's not the cloth that he's cut from. He's going to keep pushing forward. And he ran right into that nasty head kick that Leon gave him. But for Leon, I mean, you got to imagine that he worked on wrestling a lot because that was the thing that, Usman just kept him down, kept him against the cage a lot, kept him down. It was pretty easy for him to do. Striking exchanges, I think Usman was very good as well. So I still pick him, but I feel like this could be a little bit closer. Then I don't know than what people are saying is going to be, because I do still see people thinking Leon's going to win and everything like that. But this is interesting because it's weird too. Usually you don't hear the champion like, "Oh yeah, I lost the title." It was kind of relieving. That's what Usman said. When he did that interview with Joe Rogan, he was like, I'll be honest with you, it was a little relieving because that is a lot of pressure. And don't get me wrong, you're getting the best version of everybody every single time you fight them, because if you're not your best version, you can't step into the octagon. You can't do it. This isn't, the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, where you can be, I'm there, but I'm really not there. Maybe I got some things going on somewhere else, or this or that or whatever. Like, if you're not fully locked in, it's going to be a short night and you can get seriously hurt. But Usman is dealing with people's number one, like their best version of themselves and the best fighter. The best version of myself, if I go in to fight right now, I'm nothing. But if I had been training for 20 years and I was in shape and I knew all the things to do and it was my number one priority, then that's a different story. So Usman was dealing with that for a very long time. And I think like that's the perspective that a lot of people just don't look at, that like when you are the champion, you're getting the best at their best, because that's their one mind. Like, you don't have to, because like even if you're a contender, right, Josh, and see if you agree with me here, you're training for your next opponent, but then you're also maybe in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, I got to beat this guy, and then probably after that, I'm probably fighting him. So, yeah, I got to focus on him 98% of the time. Maybe that last 2%, I'll focus on the other guy. You're fighting for the championship. Yeah. There's nobody else. Why would you focus on anybody else?
Yeah, especially when you've been around like Usman has, where he was fighting guys over again. Like, if you've already beaten the guy, it's very tough to not look ahead at that guy that just climbed from, 12 to 6 in the rankings, and not being like, okay, I got to start worrying about him rather than, I'm fighting this guy for the third time, just because there's no one else that's really up yet. So I agree. I think it's tough not to, but you really don't want to, because it's a fight. Like, it's not like it's a playoff game against a low seed and you're 15-1. It's a fight. Like, anybody could get knocked out at any time. So you got to try not to. But when you're a guy like Usman, or like, even Adesanya when he was champ and all that, it's tough not to.
It's definitely interesting. I'm very excited to see this fight. Definitely am. And like you said, the Justin Gaethje one as well. I'll just scroll down on here just to show the people the other fights. Gunnar Nelson and Brian Barberina, I want to say that is. Why not? Jennifer Mai, Casey O'Neill, Vittori, and I don't know. Is that Dolides? I don't know.
Let's call him Roman. Let's just call him Roman.
Yeah, Roman. Vittori and Roman. That's not a bad fight right there, though.
No. It's gonna be good.
I mean, Vittori just fought not too long ago, Izzy for that belt, right?
Yeah, and I think he won his last fight, maybe.
Josh, I see right there that Italy thing. Either my man's from Italy. I've been on the Duolingo. I'm trying to learn Italian, so when I go on this cruise in July or June, I can never remember which one it is. When I'm over there in Italia, I'm going to be speaking the language. The way to say men might be my favorite word in the Italian language, and I'm only about 6 courses in. I believe it's umani. It's like Uomini. So Uomini. That's how they say it. Uomini. Mad funny. Lord Uomini. Love it. Big fan.
That does sound like something that Mario would say.
Exactly. Josh, before we move on to the NBA, I'm just curious, because I tweeted it out, and I am in love. In fact, it might be, I'm not lying to you, my third favorite sport. Maybe fourth, because, UFC, probably third. I love the power slap, man. I watched the power slap, like Power Slap 1, their version of UFC 286 or whatever, but the Power Slap version of it. I thought it was just going to be the 4 title fights, right? Oh no! I hop on Rumble. I start watching. They got prelims, bro. They had Michael Bisping on the commentary. Dana was in the house. You got a nice crowd there. I'm not going to lie to you, people. And here's my thing too. I don't understand the outrage. And maybe I'm wrong here because, like, it is their health and everything like that. But let me counter that real quick. You realize that these are grown-ass people, right? That can make decisions for themselves. So, like, if the danger is what we're worried about, the NFL can't exist. The UFC should never exist. Boxing shouldn't exist anymore either. Because all of that, you're trying to hurt the other person. Basically. I mean, besides football, you're trying to score touchdowns. But if they got the ball, you're trying to, you know what I mean here. And, like, the concussions and things like that. They signed up. Like, they know. You think that they looked at this and they were like, oh, I'm going to get slapped in the face and I'm definitely going to be fined 40 years from now? I'm going to be real. They're not thinking about that. Just like the NFL players. They know CT is a very big possibility. Look at all the players that have gotten it and everything like that. You ask any of them, they're, oh, yeah, I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. If I could rewind and live it again, I would do it, knowing the outcome, knowing all the injuries and things like that. They're grown people. And, like, Dana White is the face of it because he's the one promoting it now and it's his league technique. He also did not start Power Slap. Like, the whole slapping people thing has been a thing for a long time. It was just in places that you would expect. I mean, like, I know Russians had it for a while. Of course they have. But, like, I don't get the outrage, first of all. But second of all, I just love it. I'm not gonna lie. It is, and maybe because it is so ridiculous, but it is one of the funniest things I think I've ever watched in my entire life. Like,
it's always entertaining.
I literally sit there and I'm crying. Like, I'm just laughing watching it. And maybe because it is, like I said, so, like, silly, I guess you could say it is, and they treat it so seriously. It like they had you like before. I mean, just look at this impact. I mean, I'm just gonna look at that. Oh, that's the man's face is just gone. But I mean, they treat it so serious too. Like I said, they put up like the fighter stats, like, oh, he has this much neck force, and the width. And this is the width of his hand, and he has the highest velocity on slap, and then the other thing, they were putting up their reach. What are we putting? Oh, look at this. We got an ad out here. What are we talking about? Like, why are you putting up their reach? What does the reach have to do with anything? They're not slapping at the same time. You can't avoid the slap. Josh, I have an idea, though. Maybe we should start another power slap league, Josh. You know what? This is my idea. It's the same thing, but you blindfold the opponent, right? And then the slapper has 10 seconds to slap. And you can dodge at any point. You know what I mean here?
I like it. I mean, slapping, like, it's like you said, it's been around forever. It's just now, like, some people are getting paid to get the crap slapped out of them.
Exactly.
Like, I think that's the only thing that's really, and it's televised. I mean, we all have friends growing up. It's like, I bet I could slap you harder than you could slap me, or some stupid crap like that.
Exactly.
You know, like, it's always been a thing. It's always entertaining too. Like, I've never seen someone just get slapped and not been, like, either shocked or laughing. Like, it's always one of the two.
That's my point exactly. And, like, I had been watching this and I've been telling my friends about it, and we were on Xbox the night, and I was like, bro, can you guys please just download this and watch it? Like, I promise you it's gonna make you laugh. And a couple of my friends downloaded Rumble, they started watching it with me, and we were all just sitting in the party laughing. Because, like, it is insanity. Like, don't get me, like I said, it is absolute insanity that people actually want to do this. But and I mean, they're getting slumped.
The same way that you have to be like a certain breed to fight, you have to be a certain breed to be like, to watch it and then be like, you know, I bet I could take a slap like that, and I bet I could knock somebody out with a slap. Like, you have to be a certain type of crazy human to go and do this. Like, stand there knowing the man across from you, like, is going to make your face look like that.
Well, and then here's like the thing. It's not like, you know, they stand and then it's just like they reach back and bam. Like, they're out here like you ever seen Yeah, you ever seen the shot put where like they like go like they like turn their hips and like they're getting really ready. Like that's what they're doing. They're out here like turning their hips and getting all their body weight in. I'm like, oh my god! Like I think the guy who won the featherweight or welterweight belt, because they had belts. And by the way, Josh, I listen. Hold on, let me see this. Let me see if I can find this power slap belt.
I've seen clips of the power slap. I haven't watched a full event yet.
Josh,
but I've definitely seen some of the stuff going on. That belt looks fire.
That's fire. Oh wait,
like
hold on. It brought me to a new thing. Hold on. Let me get a close up for the people. Brought me to a new link. Bam. That's a beautiful belt.
That is nice.
I'm not even gonna lie, Josh. I looked it up to see if I could buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy one too. That's fine.
But it's not there.
I'm gonna say it slaps.
So look at you. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. But I would buy that. Although it's since it's like associated with Dana White, like the power slap merchandise is on the UFC website. So then I clicked on like collectibles for UFC. A replica belt for the UFC is like $850.
For real?
Yeah. Because I was like, damn, you know what? Maybe I can get a UFC belt because they're kind of fire too. $850. I said no, sirree. No, sirree.
Like put on the ranking.
Nah, listen. I better get some type of pay just for buying it. I want pay for buying it. But all right, we go on from there. Sorry, I had to call a little audible there because it's just fantastic. I can't get over how much I like. In fact, I'm literally upset that it's over because they had the 8-part series of them in the house. Kind of like what's it called, The Ultimate Fighter, and then it ended with the pay-per-view, and the coaches fought each other. The guy was 0-3 against this one dude. One of their fights, and see, this is regulated stuff too because it's maximum 5 rounds. If you get knocked out, whatever they call it, whatever, all this. So before it was regulated, the two coaches had fought each other 3 times, right? One of them went 27 rounds. And it was only stopped. It was only stopped due to a doctor stoppage. Because I think one of them got cut.
It took 27 rounds to get a doctor stoppage.
27 rounds. So hey, at least you can say that Dana's trying to protect the people, because it's 5 rounds max for the title fights. The other ones are 3, I believe. And then listen, the guy was 0. They had fought 3 times. The guy was 0-3 against him. So the other guy slaps first, and you're kind of expecting not to have a knockout since one of their fights went 27 rounds. The guy slaps him. The dude eats it. Dude eats the slap, takes a step back maybe. And now the 0-3 guy slapping, and you're like, okay, I'm expecting this to go 5 rounds. But he had put on 20 pounds since the last time they fought, to get some more muscle. Slap, knocked him out, wins the heavyweight title for the first time.
I'm going to watch the full event.
Go on, I'm telling you, it's there. It's on Rumble. You just got to download Rumble. And I might rewatch it because I was on Xbox during the prelims, so I didn't really get to see any of them. See, and that's the other good thing too. Like the UFC, you got to always pay attention because something's happening or boxing. They have a countdown, so I want right hand on 3. So you go 1, 2, bam, 3. So I'm playing Xbox, right? I'm over here playing Fall Guys, whatever, and I hear 1. Okay, I still got time. 2. I look up for 3. Still playing. Bam. Okay. It's just like that. This is the perfect sport for our generation. I'm telling you, it's going to take over. Because we have no attention span, so I can be on my phone. I got 3 TikToks. Swipe, I hear the number 2. Oh, he's slapping on 3. Let me look up from his TikTok. See the slap? Bam, right back down. Perfect sport for our generation because we're stupid.
Is there any John Jones of it yet? Is there a guy that's
I think there is. I think there is. The guy who won the like I said, the featherweight or the lightest title. I don't know what his weight class was, if I'm being honest. His name is KO Chris, because every single person he has gone up against first slap KO. First slap.
Really?
I mean,
Oh, yeah, that is. He's leading back.
I don't think, but I also think he's won the coin toss every time. So like we haven't seen him take one yet. So I'm kind of waiting on that. But until he does, this guy is goated out here. I mean, he slaps him and oh my, bro, one of the fights so funny though. I think it was for middleweight. The guy slaps him because they stand like on opposite sides of each other and there's a podium in the middle. Dude slaps him, slumps him. The guy's falling, hits his head on the desk, and then falls back. Good thing it's padded. Good thing the desk has some pads on. But all right. Like I said, now we can move on. We go to the NBA because, Josh, we got to know who the MVP is right now because there's two front runners, I would say. That would be Jokic and Mr. Joel Embiid. Josh, who do you think is the MVP right now? And maybe I'll try and see if I can find some stats to see what, so I can get everybody to see what they're looking at here.
Yeah, I mean, this MVP race is, I mean, the last time I think a race was this close was Westbrook and Harden in 2017. That's how close and how dominant both guys have been. And, you know, throughout most of the season, it was Jokic. Everyone was like, he's got them at the number one seed. You know, he's putting up better numbers than, you know, his back-to-back MVP seasons. But Joel has done nothing but get better throughout the season, too. He just had like a 45-15 game with like a game winner not too long ago. I don't think there's a wrong answer between the two. I think Joel has had a better second half of the season. I think the Sixers are like the second best team, like post All-Star break record wise, and that's a lot of credit to him. Obviously, Harden and some people I don't understand how they're going to use it. Like, well, he does have one of the best passers in the league on his team. It's like, okay, like he's still dominating. It's not like that. Like that shouldn't hurt him. He's still putting up amazing numbers. But I would say right now for me it's Joel. But again, I don't think there's really a wrong answer. A lot of people even have Giannis in this race. Like that's how dominant all three of these guys
I just
are.
saw because they were just talking about it on the ESPN countdown before this Grizzlies-Mavs game. That I think Jokic is the favorite right now, and then Embiid, and then Giannis is plus like 900 though. Like
yeah, like it's a big topic. NBA Twitter's been going crazy about it just because of how close it is, and both these teams have crazy fan bases. Both these players have just crazy fan bases. And I mean, we haven't seen 3 straight MVPs since Larry Bird, so it's kind of a historic thing for Jokic too. He had a little bit of a stretch in the second half of the season where all he did, like he was putting up like 10, 15, and 15, but he wasn't getting 20 points. In the way both these guys are playing, like you can't have a stretch like that. That's why I think Embiid, I would have Embiid win it. But then, you know, the media, like what Kendrick Perkins was saying and what some of these guys are saying.
Annoying, by the way.
I mean, to try to bring race into it is just kind of stupid.
Like, you're just so bored.
Jokic, he's won 2 MVPs. Race has nothing to do with it. The fact that he looks like he shouldn't be playing basketball, and he's one of the best players on the planet. So I think both guys have a hell of a case to win it, but if I had to pick one with about I think there's 14, 15 games left in the season for most teams, which, I mean, the Thunder, we got a lot of important games coming up. We just won a couple back-to-back.
We're the 10 seed right
healthy. Yep, if the season ended today, we'd be in the play-in. But, yeah, both guys have great cases, but I'd go with Joel.
So there are their per-game stats right there, as you can see. I know it's maybe not the biggest thing, but hey, size doesn't always matter, right, Josh? But that's as big as I could get it. Pause. Jokic, obviously, Embiid has the points advantage here with the 33.4 over the 24.7. But I mean, 10 assists for Jokic a game as a center, obviously, and then, you know, the rebounds you would expect them to both be doing good there because they are centers, but, you know, Embiid or Jokic is averaging more with the 12 to Embiid's 10. I think I would give it to Jokic again. Like you said, I don't think there's anything wrong, but, you know, hey, since you picked Embiid, I'll pick Jokic. Why not? Just because of the seeding as well. Like Jokic has his team as the number 1 seed in the West. Now, the East is probably better. I think we would agree with that. And, obviously the 76ers are very good. Let me just, what seed they are right now?
Sixers, third, I think, just because of a hot start that Boston and Milwaukee
so
went out to.
Yeah, they're third right now. They're 45-22. Nuggets are 46-22. So, I mean, obviously, if the Sixers were in the West, they'd be in second place right now. We're, right on the heels of the Nuggets. But I don't know. I think averaging a triple-double with a number 1 seed, I don't know how you don't give it to him. And I mean, I also hate the whole thing of like, oh, well, he's won 2 years in a row, so you got to give it to somebody else. Like, you can't just give it to the same person every year. Yeah, you can. If the same person every year deserves it, if Jokic next year averages 30, 12, and 10, he better win it for a 4th year in a row. And then if he averages 30, 15, and 9, he should get it for a 5th year in a row. Like, I hate that whole thing of like, oh, you can't give the award to the same person.
Voter fatigue.
Yeah, like listen, whether you like him or not, for both of them, Jordan probably should have had more MVPs. LeBron should have had more MVPs. You could argue Kobe should have had more MVPs. Obviously, we know the controversy with the Steve Nash one. I mean, you could say that Brady probably should have more MVPs. Rodgers, like all these great players probably should have more MVPs, but I also do think that there is that thing of like, oh, we just gave it to this person, we gave it to this person. Like we can't give it to Jokic again. We can't give it to this person again. I hate that. If the person deserves the award, you give it to him. It is a regular season award based on this year. All because Jokic did something last year. If he does it again this year, why doesn't he deserve it?
I hate when people do that, like bring up, like that's been a big topic about Jokic and Embiid too. And it really shouldn't, because neither of them have made a NBA Finals, and Jokic has only made one conference finals. But what does that have to do with this season's regular season? Like past, like team success. I already hate it that, like, if a team is very well rounded, like I'm not saying in this situation because Jokic has really been carrying the Nuggets when Murray and Porter Jr. have been getting healthy throughout the season. But I think team success should be like one of the last things that contribute to an MVP case. Like we're talking about that individual player and how good he's been playing. Like when Russ won the MVP, the Thunder weren't the best team in the league, but the fact that they were a playoff team was just insane with the roster they had after KD left. So, I mean, it's stupid how some people try to view the MVP.
See, I struggle with certain things, right? Because I think team success should matter, obviously. But I also thought Russ deserved that MVP there. I mean, you averaged triple-double. It was the first time someone averaged triple-double since Oscar Robertson. We all know that, whatever. But I think you should have to do something astonishing to win an MVP on a bad team. Like, that was the whole thing with Judge and Ohtani this year in the MLB. That, Judge was doing all of these great things, 62 home runs, almost won the Triple Crown, led the AL in RBIs and home runs, second in batting average, great defender. And he was, the number 2 overall, seed in the AL, obviously won his own division, whatever. And if we're being honest, Yankee fans, carried that team, through a portion of the season when a lot of people were hurt. Versus Ohtani, who was something we've never seen, pitching, hitting 40 home runs, an under 3 ERA, like doing very, very well. But his team was out of it, I don't know, maybe 3 months into the season. Like they were bad. Obviously, Judge ends up winning.
Speaking of baseball, it amazes me that it's the only sport where you could have, 2 of the best players on the planet, but your team is still just terrible. So bad. It's so good. It's so weird. Weird.
Yeah, it really. I think baseball is the most team-oriented, selfish sport of all time.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think baseball is like the only sport where you can truly be selfish, and it doesn't matter. Like if you're selfish in football, like you can, mess things up. Like if you're a wide receiver and you want the ball all the time, if you're, the quarterback and you always want to throw, whatever, like you can affect the team. If I am a baseball player and I'm the best on the planet, but like I go to the field, I don't talk to a single one of my teammates, I hit 350, 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and then I leave. Okay. Cool. Like, yeah, you're not a team guy. Your team might not like you as a person, but damn right, if one of the opposing pitchers hits you, they would go out there and defend you.
Right.
But it's also to the point where, like, yeah, I could do all that, and then the rest of my team could bat 210, hit 6 home runs combined, and we could win 40 games. Like, it is. Because obviously, like you said, Trout and Ohtani both on the Angels. Probably, Trout healthy is one of the best baseball players of all time. Ohtani healthy is, a unicorn, as everybody always calls him. And they're terrible. Just absolutely awful. But, I mean, we got a little off track there. But, yeah, I would still go with Jokic. You would go with Embiid. I think, like we both said, there's no really wrong answer here. But I think we both can agree on the point. I accidentally removed you instead of the stats. I think that we can both agree that the whole not wanting to give it to this one person because they did this so many years is the dumbest thing ever. If you deserve the MVP award, get the MVP award. Voter fatigue, well, because here's the other thing too, like that messes with careers. Like when we do the whole GOAT discussion and things of that nature, and I'm not saying either one of these people are going to be considered the greatest of all time. Obviously, they got a long way to go for that, but winning 3 MVPs in a row. And say Jokic wins like 4 championships, whatever. Like, let's live in that world, right? 3 MVPs in a row, 4 championships. He's the Finals MVP in all 4 of them. You could put him in a conversation here, but then like, what if they don't give him that 3rd MVP or 4th MVP because of voter fatigue? And it's like, well, yeah, he only won 2 MVPs. This person has 4. This person has 5, and it's like, yeah, Jokic would have too if they weren't annoying.
Yeah, that's a big thing too, not with just like MVPs, but even all-stars. Like people say it's not a big deal just because you're an all-star doesn't mean you're this good, but then it's brought up in contract negotiations
every time.
When your career is done, it's a qualification to be in the Hall of Fame. It's like, but it didn't matter then. Like, why does it matter so much now?
It's a very, very strange thing if you're asking me. But we move on to the NFL because, well, it never, ever sleeps. It never dies. So it's like New York City. It's the sport that never sleeps, though. Because, Josh, we got some exciting news for you that kind of came out of nowhere. I know how you had been talking about the Panthers trade and being active and things like that. But it officially did happen with the Panthers trading up from number 9, trading with the Bears to get that first overall pick, that coveted number 1 pick in the NFL draft this year. They gave up their 9th pick this year, their 61st pick this year, which is that would be the 2nd round. No, that's the 3rd round.
It's a late 2nd.
Late 2nd? Yeah, that's like the last pick in the 2nd, right? Or the 2nd to last.
49ers pick, I believe. So.
Okay, a 2024 first round pick, and then a 2025 2nd round pick, and the surprise to me. And I think a lot of people out there, DJ Moore as well. So that's what they gave up. 961 first next year, 2nd 2 years from now, and their number 1 wide receiver, DJ Moore, all go to the Bears in exchange for that first overall pick. The Panthers are now picking number 1. The Bears are picking number 9. Obviously, more trades can be, set up here and there. The Bears have a bunch of money in free agency. They went out and spent a lot of it. I mean, they gave Tremaine Edmonds a big contract not too long ago. I believe they signed a couple of guards or a couple of offensive linemen, which we're going to get into all of the NFL free agency stuff as well. But we wanted to start off with this and some of the other trades that are going on. But Josh, as our resident Panther fan here, the aficionado, how you feeling?
Instant reaction. I didn't really have a feeling of like, oh, I love this or oh, I hate this. I was reading through it, like going one by one to each thing. I was like, okay, obviously number 9, obviously a pick this year, obviously another first, the 2nd. But then like when it hit DJ Moore, like I just got a bad feeling. I was like, no, like DJ. Like it was tough because all the talks were. I mean, we got offered 2 firsts for Brian Burns last season from the Eagles. DJ hadn't really been a name that was like, oh, the Panthers are open to trading him or anything. So, and especially if we're going to get a quarterback, you'd think we'd want to keep our best, outside threat, our best offensive player. And the reports were that we tried to offer a 2025 first instead of DJ. But Poles insisted on getting DJ Moore. Very smart of the Bears for doing that, taking the already proven, which if DJ Moore had been with the Bears his whole career, his 5,000 plus yards with us, that would be all-time first place for the Bears receiving yards wise, which is crazy. Right? He's the best receiver, like stats wise, of all time if he's there his whole career. So it was tough it is tough seeing him go, but it's not too often that the number 1 pick is available and the team that has that pick doesn't need a quarterback or isn't going after a quarterback, especially when that draft class has some very talented quarterbacks like Bryce Young, Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis. So, you have to take that shot. We were picking at 9. There was not even a guarantee that Levis would be there at that point. So you're not even looking at quarterback anymore. And, after the Ravens gave Lamar the non-exclusive tag, and then almost immediately the Panthers were out on him, we kind of had to make this move. Because you can't, we've been rotating these random guys. It starts with Kyle Allen. We go to Teddy. We go to Darnold. We go to Baker. We go back to Darnold. And, you had to make a move at some point. So we made the move. And there's never going to be, when you're trading up for a top 3 pick and you look at the trade, like send, receive, and one team has 1 pick and then there's a list of assets the other team got, yeah, of course the team that got all the assets is the early winner of the trade. Like
you never feel great when you see that you're the team that gave up the list.
Yeah, when you see all those picks gone and some names that you really like are going away, you're never going to be the winner of that trade immediately. I don't want to say fleeced. It was.
See, I hate doing that when it comes to draft picks. Like, I don't know if Josh is still here.
The price. That's the price to go and draft a guy to my back.
You're back now. Now you're back. There we go.
I'm back. Okay. It's the same price, almost the exact same price that the Rams gave up to get Jared Goff. They gave up 2 firsts and 2 seconds. We just had to give up a little bit more because these quarterbacks are more highly touted than Jared Goff was coming out of college. So I'm not mad at the package either. I would have preferred giving up a 2025 first instead of DJ because now our offense is very depleted. With DJ, it wasn't amazing, but and it's also funny. I've been, as a Panthers fan over the years, I've been hyping up DJ because I watch it every week. And now all of a sudden, everyone's loving DJ Moore. Like, oh, what a pickup! Like,
see, I keep seeing. It's funny too because you see that, and I keep seeing like, well, then again, it is fantasy, but it's like there goes DJ's value, blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't see it that way though. Like, I don't.
No.
And kind of like to what you were saying with the whole fleece thing. I hate doing that. Like, obviously, everybody does it because it's the world we live in now. You need instant reaction, you need instant gratification, and everybody wants opinions now. Like, you never let anything marinate and, sit microwave society, as we call it. I hate doing it, though, especially with draft picks, right? Because you can say fleeced. Sure, cool. If that's your early report, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. In fact, people probably know more than me because, like I've said, I'm not a big college guy, right? But what happens if they pick Stroud or Bryce Young or Will or Anthony Richardson? Who cares? Whatever, right? Let's live in this world. And any of them, whoever they pick, goes on to be a Hall of Famer. They win a couple Super Bowls, whatever. And then DJ Moore goes to the Bears, never has like a 1,000-yard season, and the draft picks that they get, they're all busts. Is it a fleece now? Yeah, it is for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Then the Panthers fleece the Bears. So, like, it really is that situation of, like, this is the one case you really have to wait. I guess the only way I would really get instant like gratification and things like that. And I see it in baseball a lot more, mainly because, you know, big stars get traded all the time, especially during the trade deadline, things like that, of when, you know, it's this player for this player. So like, you know what the two are. And then if you're like, wait, why did, you know, player A, who's this good, you know, a 90 overall, let's say, we'll go with that, get traded for an 82 overall? Like, that's like, then you can be like, oh, that's a fleece, whatever, bro. And I'd probably, you know, be able to be like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. But when you're talking about draft picks, we don't even know. This could be a terrible trade for both teams. It could be a good trade for the Bears. It could be a good trade for the Panthers. Like, Panthers go out and draft a quarterback. He's the worst quarterback in NFL history. And then the Bears, you know, DJ Moore doesn't do anything with the Bears, gets hurt, and then all their draft picks turn into busts too. And then both teams are just like, well, we wasted everything. Or, right, like I said, the Panthers have a Hall of Fame quarterback. The Bears' draft picks don't turn out well. Or for the Bears, DJ Moore goes on to have, you know, 1,600 yards, and, you know, they draft somebody at 9 who becomes a, you know, an all-pro, and, you know, in the next few years, all their draft picks are hitting. Then it's like, wow, the Panthers got their quarterback, but like, look what all the Bears, like, it's so up in the air, especially right now, that like fleeced and all this. I guess, like I said, for the microwave society, and like, I want my opinion out there now, you can say that. But like, we're not going to know until 3, 4, 5 years from now.
Maybe even longer, you know, because if, let's say, we take Anthony Richardson and we choose, which I'll get into what we should do with the pick, but let's say we do, and, you know, maybe Matt Corral gets to start early because Richardson's not ready. And it's a, you know, Mahomes situation or a Jordan Love situation where he's sitting for a couple of years. And then, you know, the Bears picks are playing well to start, but we're 4 years in and Anthony Richardson comes out his first year and puts up MVP type numbers. Then it just completely flips it. I mean, my example earlier about the Rams trading up for Goff, with those picks, the Titans took Corey Davis, didn't work out for them. Jonnu Smith, Patriots legend, not Titans legend,
who's off the team now for a 7th round pick.
But their other 1st round pick was Derrick Henry. You know, if they don't draft Derrick Henry, the Titans don't win that trade because Goff got the Rams to a Super Bowl. You know, so it's very long term when you're talking about giving up a 2025 pick in the 2023 draft. Like, you can't just have a winner right now, especially because even the number 9 pick, number 61, and the number 1 pick, we don't even know who those players are yet.
Brady was 199.
Yeah, it's impossible to know. But for the pick itself, I don't think you can trade up to number 1 and not take Bryce Young or Stroud. I think if you trade up to number 1 and take Anthony Richardson, it's like, okay, why did you trade all the way to 1? He wasn't going to be one of the first 2 quarterbacks off the board. And there's reports of us trading down now.
I was going to say, I'm curious about your thoughts on that.
I'd rather not. I mean, obviously, if the Texans want to be like, hey, we'll give you Brandon Cooks and maybe some more draft capital back that you just lost, I would be open to that because I'm okay with it being Stroud or Bryce Young. I don't know if I have a preference right now. It might flip-flop. I mean, right now, gut feeling, we got to go with Stroud. I think he's, you know, more pro style, and with the lack of weapons we have, I think we need a guy like that can, you know, make those plays. But I also think Bryce Young is a generational talent. So it's, as long as it's one of those two, and we don't just completely blow this and take Will Levis, which would break my heart. And I would also break my computer screen when if that happened. But yeah, I mean, that's what it is. That's the price to go get a franchise guy, and I'm very happy we did it. You know, the second we were out on Lamar, I was like, okay, so we're trading up. Like that's set in stone. We have to. We cannot go another season when the division is now wide open. Brady's gone.
Wide open.
All 3 of us, all 3 teams don't have amazing rosters, don't have, you know, all pro quarterbacks. We have to go make this move. And I'm happy we did it. And, you know, I did predict it on my mock draft. Yeah. I said 9-1. But now we just have to see what that player turns out to be. And actually for the Bears, I mean, in my younger years, I was a Bears fan. I live in Illinois. I watch them play every weekend too. So it's kind of like, okay, like this is a cool trade. It's not really like I'm excited for both teams, you know, because Who knows what the Bears are going to do with 9? Now they can really put a lot of weapons on Fields, who I have in the Dynasty League, so I'm happy about that too. And I'm happy DJ Moore is going to get a season with the best quarterback he's ever played with. So,
that is true.
Excited. I'm excited.
That is certainly true. And I at the moment, like I said, we talked about the fleece thing. It might be a win-win. I mean, the Panthers, like you said, are finally going to get their quarterback. It's not going to be this, masking tape, duct tape type of situation where it's like, oh, look, we got Sam Darnold, guys. Hey, you excited?
Sam Darnold's about to take over the league, though. We'll get to that.
Well, we'll get to that. And, it's not like, oh, look, we got this random person. Yeah, you guys happy now? It's like, okay, we have the first overall pick. You build up the hype. You get all those jersey sales. You get a whole new fan base. And then the Bears, listen, I had said this repeatedly that the Bears should do this. Now, I almost didn't want them to drop down all the way to 9. Not that that's far or anything like that, but if only they could have dropped to like 4 with the Colts or 5, somewhere in that area. I would have really liked that. Just because obviously you can get a pick of a better player or who you really want, whatever. But I still think that I think it's good. I think it's good. I'm excited to see what the Panthers do. Excited to see what the Bears do. Obviously, like I said, they've been pretty active in free agency already. So, an interesting trade. Kind of.
One more thing about the pick itself. Like, a lot of people are like I don't expect people to watch the Panthers all the time, especially in recent years. Like, we stink. So I don't expect, if you're not in Carolina or
you don't have McCaffrey on your fan. Like, listen, I watched a lot of Panther games because I had McCaffrey on my team.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're one of these people, like, you're not watching it. So seeing, Shannon Sharp go up there and say, and that pick next year is going to likely be a top 5. Like, no, it won't. We almost made the playoffs this year. Like, the division is awful. We are going to have a chance to win the division. The NFC itself is not amazing. Had some bad teams making playoffs, and let's just say we do win the division, that pick is
automatically
automatically.
16?
Yeah, like, I think the Bucks are picking 18th or 16th this year or something, and they only went 8-9 to make the playoffs. I mean, Atlanta has made some decent free agency moves. Derek Carr is on the Saints. Baker might be in Tampa, so we'll see him twice a year. But the division is terrible right now. It's anyone's division. And we just made a move to get a very good young quarterback. I love the star-studded, staff we have put together. It's perfect for a young guy to step into. We got a good O-line. Obviously, our weapons aren't amazing, but it's a long off season. We still have the 40th pick in the draft too, and there's some very good receivers here. So just to all the people saying like, "Oh, the Panthers are definitely going to be a top 10 pick next year," like, you don't know ball, bro. Like, you don't watch. Like, you don't watch. You've never seen us play. Like, it's just crazy.
Hey, DeAndre Hopkins is still out there too.
Right. Yeah.
Odell's out there. Adam Thielen's out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey.
Thielen can go somewhere else.
I'll take him on the Pats.
It's like anyone on. Well, I mean, we're in the same boat as you guys now too. I mean, shoot.
Yeah, welcome. I would have punched you in the throat for DJ Moore. Unbelievable. Another trade that went down that kind of came out of nowhere to me, at least, and maybe not the player being traded. I'm speaking of Jalen Ramsey here, but to the place, goes over to the Dolphins. I just kind of wasn't expecting the Dolphins to be in on it like that. I don't even know what was it, like a 4th round pick too?
A 3rd round pick in Hunter Long.
Yeah, which is some no-name tight end, right?
Yeah, he was like their 2nd, 3rd string.
I mean, obviously the Rams are trying to rebuild here, and retool, but a third string for Jalen Ramsey. And don't get me wrong, too. Jalen Ramsey is a good pickup. I still think people think that he's Jalen Ramsey of like 3 years ago or 4 years ago.
Yeah, he's definitely was on the decline last year.
Yeah,
he wasn't his best.
Like that like playoff run with the Rams, and then like this season, you kind of see like the end of that lockdown trash talk. I mean, he's still going to talk, but I mean, to me,
he's still very good though. He's just not Jalen.
No, absolutely, still very good, but it is definitely He's probably like, listen, nice little golf reference here. He's on the back nine. He's probably on the back nine of his career. I'd say he's probably on about he played nice 18. He's probably on hole like 13. I would say, in my eyes. So listen, you still got 5 more to go. You still got a lot of fun. And some of these holes, par 5.
Just total golf references.
Well, you know what, Josh? There's not going to be a show next week because I will be down at the condo.
Oh, okay.
I'm leaving Thursday. Me and Pops are going down. I'm bringing the clubs. I'm ready. I haven't played golf in a while, but I'm ready to be out there swinging. I'm finally going to get to, because the condo is on a golf course, and I have not played the course one time yet. The 2 times I've been down there, because both times I've gone down, the course has been closed. I think the first time I went down, it was being reseeded, and then the second time I went down, they were doing something to the greens. So I haven't even been able to play the course that we're on. So I'm very excited to play that one. And then obviously, I think there's 250 golf courses within 30 minutes of us. So your boy's gonna be out here swing. So I had to pull out the golf references, I guess. But yeah, Jalen Ramsey's on the Dolphins now. Tua is learning how to fall. He's doing jiu-jitsu classes, learning how to fall. Oh yeah, you didn't see that?
No.
Oh yeah, they're teaching Tua how to fall, so he doesn't get hurt anymore.
Okay. I mean, they got Mike White, so I think they'll chill on that.
Yeah, they did sign Mike White 2 years. I believe it's up to $16 million. It's not $8 million guaranteed both years. I think it's a $6 million, I want to say, or 5 to 6, and then it can go up to 8 per season. But yeah, listen, good trade for the Dolphins. You get a top 10 cornerback for absolutely nothing. Why wouldn't you do it? And maybe is Xavier Howard still over there, right?
Yeah, they got an elite duo now back there. And
Howard over there.
Is a great young safety.
Yeah, and I mean,
they got Chubb from Denver last year. I mean, that team is in shape. If they can get to it to stay healthy, that team is very, very good.
Oh, it is a good team. And then especially, too, if what's his name? What am I looking for here? Damn, who am I looking
for? Defense or offense?
Now I can't even remember that.
Is he a rookie? Young guy?
It'll come to me eventually. Hopefully. Maybe one of these days. But, they'll be all right. I think that they're going to be very good.
That's what I was
going to say. I wasn't even looking for a player. I was looking for – this is what I was going to say. That it is really a 3-team race now, especially because this is the next rumor I want to get into. Our boy, Josh. Our boy, our guy, our friend of the pod. Been on the show. Mr. Trey Wingo he said Aaron Rodgers to the Jets is done. Now, this was a while ago, and we still haven't heard any official news. And then Ian Rappaport came out and said, man, I wish it was really done, but so far nothing's happened. But to be fair to Trey, our friend, he was also the first one to report that Rodgers was going to meet with the Jets. Now, it had been out there, but he was first on it. So he's got to have somebody in the camp. We heard on McAfee when, Rodgers was getting all pissed off at Rappaport, everybody, they're like, oh, you don't know anybody inside my camp, blah, blah, blah. And even if they do, they're not talking to you.
He said he's his camp. He said,
you're talking to people in my camp. Trey might have somebody on the inside. Trey might have somebody on the inside.
Hey, maybe someone with the Jets. Someone with the Jets is like, yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
I think Trey's a reliable source. If he says it, I'm going to believe it.
Right, he is. Years in the business. Years.
Exactly.
And, hey, listen. If this isn't done, it's going to be real awkward. For the simple fact, you see what all the Jets are tweeting?
Yeah. See you smile on my face?
Garrett Wilson is like, now I can finally enjoy my vacation. Sauce Gardner was like, burning the cheesehead worked.
Yeah.
Because they went him, it was Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and Sauce Gardner. They went on Sauce's Twitch channel. They sacrificed the cheesehead and burned it to get Aaron. It's going to be real awkward if this doesn't get done. And also, we talked about it. It might have worked out for the Jets.
Yeah.
It might have finally worked out for the Jets for one time in their existence. Because then we can kind of transition into the next topic as well. It was like Derek Carr, Jimmy G, Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, I guess, whatever, Baker and all those things. And it was like, okay, well, Derek Carr's off the board now. Man, the meeting with him went really well. I kind of thought they were going to lean that way. Okay, but Aaron still hasn't made a decision, and we still got Jimmy, right? And then all of a sudden you see Jimmy G sign, and it's like, ew, gay. So now you're telling me if we lose out on Rodgers, we went from Rodgers, Carr, Jimmy.
Mike White's gone too. Mike White's gone too.
Or like, oh, so you mean Tannehill's going to be our quarterback, or Zach Wilson's going to be the quarterback again? So it got real testy there for a second, and obviously it's still up in the air because, like we said, nothing has been official yet. But it looks like Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Jet. So I mean, you got the Bills, who obviously they did lose some pieces in free agency. I mean, like I said, Tremaine Edmonds went over to the Bears.
Poyer's probably gone.
Yeah, Poyer's probably going to be out of there. I mean, but then again, maybe losing Edmonds clear. The cap is fake anyway, so they can always find money somehow.
You see what the Browns did? We just freed up $35 million.
Yeah, of course you did.
But now that
I expect nothing less.
Deshaun's cap hit is 64 for the next 3 years after this year.
Insanity, absolute insanity.
Hey, Lamar.
But yeah, I mean, you got the Bills. Obviously, the Dolphins. They got Ramsey and Hill and Waddle, and Tua stays healthy, and then you got the Jets now. They had one of the best defenses in the league last year. If they had like I keep saying this, and I'm not even kidding when I say this. People probably think I'm like being annoying. I think if they had the 31st worst quarterback in the league last year instead of the 32nd, they'd make the playoffs. But Zach Wilson is literally the worst quarterback in the league last year, and they couldn't do anything. They should have beat the Patriots twice.
He's young.
Oh, now this. They should have beat the. Yeah, you still got faith in Mr. Zach Wilson?
Absolutely, nothing's changed.
Brother,
he's been quiet this offseason. He's been in the lab. Wait till this come out party for the.
Yeah, maybe a lab party. Shout out the Disney Channel show.
He's playing for somebody. I don't know who yet.
Himself. He's gonna be playing with himself. But. Yeah, it could be a real 3-team race. My Pats are going to be in last place next year. I'll tell you that.
Schefter said that the Jets were like very hesitant or very cautious with this trade. Like, why? He would be the best quarterback in your franchise history.
Literally,
you have a good roster. Like, you have young guys. Give them a vet to play with to teach them how to win.
See, that's the only thing that might be a little scary. Rodgers does not thoroughly enjoy the new guys.
Well, Randall Cobb will come with them. That's for sure.
Right? Yeah, you might. Hell, they might bring out who's the tight end who's been playing for like 95 years.
Oh, Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah, it is Mercedes Lewis. I didn't know if that was the one that was on the Packers. I mean, hell, he might have to come on over. Trade for Bakhtiari.
Do whatever Rodgers wants because you've never had this opportunity. Like, this is the best opportunity you've ever had. Other than when Mark Sanchez was, Tom Brady 2.0 for a couple of years.
Yeah, literally 2 years.
Yeah, but this is the best opportunity they have. Unless Rodgers decides to retire, I think that's the only other real option. I don't think he's going to stay in Green Bay because they've kind of already come out and been like, yeah, we hope he doesn't.
No, literally. They literally did that. That was that was one of the most surprising things I had seen. They were basically like, yeah, if all things go wrong, Rodgers is our starter next year. I was like, what?
The 2-time MVP the past 3 years is the worst case scenario?
4-time MVP is the worst case scenario. Interesting development. Very interesting.
I think they're just scared of what the backlash will be if it's like another year of Jordan Love on the bench. Like, when will we know if he could play?
Yeah, that's true. But, hey, we'll go on from there as we finally get into the NFL free agency tracker here, baby. We got it all pulled up for everybody. We can take a look here. We'll just go down the list. Obviously, we'll skip some people. Not everybody deserves to be talked about, Josh. Let's be real here. But we already know about Derek Carr. He went from the Raiders over there to New Orleans. 4 years, $150. $100 million guaranteed. Good for them. I like the move. Obviously, they needed a quarterback, and I still think Derek Carr is pretty solid. I think that, I believe that Derek Carr's best year for like his team's defense was like 27th.
Yeah, their defense has sucked for a long time.
For his entire career. I think like the average that he had is like 29.
It's not for lack of trying either. They used all those Bears picks on a lot of defenders. They just all sucked or were crazy people.
I mean, yeah, they got like what? One person with Max Crosby?
Yeah.
Because who was
Abrams didn't work. Damon Arnett didn't work.
Nope.
There are a few others that I just don't even remember.
Is Cleveland Farrell?
McFarland or something?
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not very good. Jonathan Abrams. Yeah.
He's just a dirty player. I don't like him.
I loved him on Hard Knocks. I thought he was about to be a god. No. Who was the safety that was also like a kick returner in college, and he would hit like a brick truck, but he was small.
On the Raiders?
Yeah. I think he was on the Raiders.
Safety, kick returner.
In college, he was a kick returner. He hit like a truck. Keanu Neal? No, that wasn't Keanu Neal.
Is he older or is he?
No,
recent?
It was the year that they were on Hard Knocks, I think.
That was a Reggie Nelson was on that team, I think.
No. He was like, I think he was in his rookie year or second year when they were on Hard Knocks.
John Abrams was a rookie, I guess. That's the only safety I could think of. That.
Damn.
Trayvon Moehrig, maybe?
I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually. Mike McGlinchey, he goes over from San Francisco to Denver. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Obviously, San Francisco loves to run the ball. And knowing them, they'll find somebody and plug them right in and draft somebody good. But it's a big deal, honestly, for Denver more than for San Francisco to me because, like I said, I have a lot of faith in San Francisco that they can kind of just do whatever they want. Obviously, we've seen their player development from, Debo to 18 quarterbacks that usually end up playing pretty well. Ayuk has become good. Kittle is very good. They just know what they're doing. They really do know what they're doing over there. But listen, as much as Russell Wilson was absolutely terrible last season, and he was terrible, their offensive line was not good at all.
Yeah.
So you get some help over there for him, his right tackle, stir up that side of the line, and obviously that'll help him out. Javon Hargrave goes from Philly to San Francisco. Now that
D-line is insane. That D-line is insane. Oh,
Hargrave, Bosa,
Kinlaw.
And then, obviously you want to go, we'll get past them. Yeah, no, Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Dre Greenlaw. Not a fun time.
Insane.
Not a fun time. He got 4 years, 84 with $40 million guaranteed. Jawan Taylor goes over to Kansas City from the Jags because they moved on from their right tackle from this Super Bowl. He's obviously nice as well. We mentioned this before. Jimmy Garoppolo goes from the Niners to the Raiders. 3 years, $72.75 million. He gets 45 of that guaranteed. This says after 1 year they have a potential out. So I guess if he doesn't play,
you think they draft a quarterback at 7? Like if Levis is there, do you think they'd still draft one with Jimmy now?
Yeah, because like a 3-year contract, to me still isn't like a stamp of faith. Like if it was 5 or even 4, I don't know why. Like that 1 extra year kind of just feels like another stamp of approval. 3 years is kind of like, okay, we'll draft him this year. He'll sit behind you. The year after that, he should be ready. And then like the 3rd year is like, if you have 1 bad game, you're out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but hey, he reunites with Mr. Josh McDaniels over there. Obviously, he gets a nice cast. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Darren Waller, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow. Obviously, Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing last year. So hey, if he can play well, Raiders offense could be pretty solid. Listen, I was very high on Waller last year because I heard reports that that McDaniels wanted to use him like how they use Gronk. I'm higher on him now. I'm even higher on him now because I think Jimmy loves the tight end.
I don't think McDaniels did very well with Waller last year.
He was hurt.
Yeah, but the games he did play, he was not getting the rock.
Trust me.
I hope it improves because I love Darren Waller.
I love it. Did not know he was married to that WNBA
Kelsey
player.
Plum.
Yeah.
Jealous of Darren Waller. Very jealous.
That came out of nowhere.
Plum made me a lot of money last year.
I saw that on Twitter and I was like,
I'm so hyped for the WNBA. I seriously am. So,
are you?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I watched it last year is because I bet on it. But, I mean, New York got Breanna Stewart and someone else I can't remember.
I might have to watch the Liberty this year.
The finals it's gonna be Aces versus Liberty. It's a super team. It's a super team.
Breanna Stewart, my girl Sabrina Ionescu.
Candace Parker went to the Aces too. I mean, it's gonna be so good. So I already put early before Candace signed and after Candace signed. I bet on the Aces to win it all again.
I might have to go bet on my home team Liberty.
They're very good. Sabrina's got a good supporting cast now. They're going to be very, very good.
Hell yeah. Bring a chip to New York, baby. Yankees will do it this year anyway, but you know. Jermaine Edmonds, like I said before, goes from Buffalo to Chicago. He got a big contract here, 4 for $72, $50 million of it guaranteed. Hey, they traded, what's his name? The linebacker that they traded early in the year to the Ravens.
Oh, Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith. Hey, you need some linebacking help now. Well, they figured that one out real quick. They have what do they have? Like $106 million in cap space.
Yeah, they got him and TJ Edwards.
Exactly. So they got money to just throw around to everybody. Mm-hmm. So they give him a contract there.
Their offseason so far is an A+.
Oh yeah, I mean, I want to say this in a way that doesn't make me sound like an ass. Like, it would be very difficult to mess up this offseason. But, like, it's still a good... No, GMs have done it in the past, and I'm happy because, like I said, I'm not a Bears fan, but, like, I kind of just want them to be good finally. Mm-hmm. So, good on them. Like, you got those picks for the number 1 overall. You're spending your caps, the money you have for the cap. Hey,
wisely too on good players, not some random
like, oh, we think this guy can be good. Like, no, Edmonds is a good player.
Robert Quinn's good, but they gave that man like 20 M's a year. So.
Jesse Bates, that one hurts. He goes from Cincinnati to Atlanta. He gets 4 years.
4th highest paid safety ever.
Really?
Yeah, Jesse Bates, 4th highest paid ever.
This must not be updated. Because there's no way he didn't get any of that money guaranteed. Like, they must not know the contract details. Because there's no way he got a 4-year contract with no guaranteed money.
Let's check it out. See what reps he tests.
Well, while you do that, I'll keep going. Jamal Dean stays with the Bucks, 4 years for $52, got 26 guaranteed. Bobby Okereke went to
That's a huge signing. Okereke, that was a good signing.
Went to the Giants. Goes to the Giants from the Colts. 4 years for $40, gets 22 of that guaranteed. Cameron Sutton goes from Pittsburgh to Detroit, 3 for $33. Chicago gets a guard. Nate Davis from Tennessee. He goes over to Chicago for 3 for $30, 19 of that guaranteed. Andre Dillard moves on from the Eagles. He goes to Tennessee. Eagles lost some players, man. They lost some good players. They lost a lot of coaches, obviously, and that is what happens when you make it to the Super Bowl and have the success that they did. Connor McGovern goes from Dallas to Buffalo. That's a nice one for the Bills. Maybe shore up that line. Hopefully get a better running game. I'd love to see the Bills somehow trade up or get some type of running back. Like, if they can trade up and get Bijan Robinson, could you imagine?
I'm very interested to see how high Bijan goes.
I've heard a lot of people connect him to the Eagles too. The Eagles are at 10, I think.
See, that's just way too high to take a running back nowadays.
Yeah, but like if you're the Eagles, you run the ball that much and you could have what seems to be a great running back. Like with Hurts, who's also a mobile quarterback, obviously, and with the other weapons that they have. So I don't know. I think I would do it if I was the Eagles.
I mean,
But,
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. I can't find anything on Jesse Bates. I don't know. No, nothing guaranteed from anyone I can find.
that is very interesting.
Well, nothing like reported.
No, yeah, of course.
So.
But yeah, any of these other names on this list stand out to you, Josh?
Not really. Nothing that's crazy. While I was just looking, though, the Panthers did re-sign Bradley Bozeman, so that's very nice for our center position. I mean, this free agency class, there's a lot of very quality players, but once you get past, when you get past the Hargraves and the Jesse Bates, it just becomes like, oh, that's a good signing. Like that's a solid signing. A lot of good signings there.
Technically, Odell is a free agent, so we're still waiting to see what he does.
Yeah, but he was about 20 M's. You gotta have to play a couple games before you get those 20 M's, Odell. We'll give you 6 for year 1, and then we'll talk.
I think he had I know he had a workout. I think it was for
workout in Atlanta or Arizona.
For 14 teams went, I believe.
We were there. Panthers were there. So I mean,
Panthers
none of the receivers, none of the top tight ends really went today, at least yet. No real running back signed or anything. So most of the offense outside of quarterbacks and O-line is all still available. And there are a lot of teams, including our 2 teams, that need players at that position.
I'll take Adam Thielen. I'll take Odell.
I'll take Jacoby. I will take Jacoby.
I would like Jacoby back, don't get me wrong. But if it's Jacoby,
but it's Terrence Marshall season. Terrence Marshall is about to have a breakout season. It's going to be beautiful.
I'll be on the lookout for it. But yeah, I think that's it. I believe that wraps everything up. Like I said, I won't be here next week. I don't know what Josh is going to do. Hey, he can come on solo for all I care and do a wonderful show. I'm sure he could. But I won't be here. I'll be at the condo living life lavishly, hopefully. And hey, you can follow me on Twitter, @AnthonyConner_. But that concludes the show for me. Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter @Jolin_4. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Doubted Views and Generational Sports. Head on over to Underdog. Use code GenZ. Double your first deposit. Also follow them on Twitter. They're always doing, predictions for the night. You can win you some sweet Underdog merch if you get those right. And possibly tune in next Monday.
All right. With all that being said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in as per usual. And listen, catch you on the next one. All right. Have a good one.